Hello everyone, this is Varun Madhwani. I am a student of International Institute of Professional Studies, DAVV Indore. Here I am going to give you the solutions of our NAD internal question. Question number 1 is we have to integrate the function tabulated below using Simpson's rule. Here we have the values of x and corresponding value of function at these points. We can observe that the function is tabulated at 10 points, which is an even number, and we know that Simpson's rule requires odd number of points. So we will use trapezoidal rule for the first 2 points and Simpson's rule for the rest. Trapezoidal rule is it is the summation of fi plus 1 dot h by 2, where I is from 1 to n, and Simpson's rule is the summation of h by 3 fi plus 4 fi plus 1 plus fi plus 2, where I is an odd number, that is 1, 3 up to n minus 2. Now coming to our question, using trapezoidal rule for first 2 points, we get f1 plus f2 dot h by 2, which is our equation number 1, and using Simpson's rule from points 2nd to 10th, we get this expression, which is our equation number 2. Summation of these two equations 1 and 2 will give us the integral of our function from the point minus 0.6 to 0.3. By putting the value of h and corresponding value function at the points, we will get the value of our integral, which is coming out to be 3.1. Now we come to the question number 2. The population of a city in a census taken once in 10 years is given below. Estimate the population in the years 1925 and 1975. Here is the table in which population in thousand is given corresponding to every year. We have to make a difference table first. It will contain delta f, delta square f and delta cube f, where delta f is the difference between the two consecutive populations, and delta square f is the difference between two consecutive delta f, and delta cube f is the difference between the two consecutive delta square f. Hence we can complete our difference table in the same manner. As delta cube f is nearly 0, we can fit a quadratic and use only up to second differences. To estimate the population in the year 1925, we use the forward difference formula, which is fx is equal to f1 plus delta f1 upon h, x minus x1 plus delta square f1 upon 2h square, x minus x1 dot x minus x2. It is our equation number 1. As x is equal to x1 plus uh, where u is a number between 0 and 1, x minus x1 is equal to uh, also x2 is equal to x1 plus h, and x2 is equal to x minus plus h, x minus x2 is equal to minus h. Hence we get the value of x minus x2 as h times of u minus 1. Putting the values of x minus x1 and x minus x2 in 1, we get Newton-Gregory forward interpolation formula. Fx is equal to f1 plus delta f1 u plus delta square f1 by 2 dot u minus 1. It is our equation number 2. Putting the value of x1 as 1921, h as 10 and x as 1925, we get the value of u, which is coming out to be 0.4. Now putting all the values in equation number 2, we get population in the year 1925, which is 36.7 and 37 when rounded. Population in the 1975, using fx is equal to f6 plus delta f6 dot u plus delta square f6 upon 2 dot u minus 1. Therefore population in the year 1975 is population in the year 1975 is 185.8, and which is 186 when rounded. Now the third question, in which we have given the value of x, that is angle, and corresponding value of sine at that particular angle. we have to find df by dx at x3 and d square f upon dx square at x1. Again we have to make a difference table. And we will evaluate the value of delta f and delta square f in the difference table and complete our table. As formula for numerical differentiation is fx is equal to fx1 plus delta f1 upon h dot x minus x1 plus delta square f1 upon factorial 2h square x minus x1 x minus x2. This is our equation 1. Differentiating 1 with respect to x, we will get df by dx. This expression is df by dx. Calling this equation number 2. Now differentiating equation number 2 with respect to x, we will get d2f by dx square, and the value of d2f by dx square is equation number 3. Now coming to our question, df by dx at x3 is delta f1 upon h plus delta square f1 upon 2 factorial 2h square 2x cube minus x1 minus x2, where we have substitute x as x3. We know that delta f1 is f2 minus f1 and delta square f1 is f3 minus f2 minus f2 minus f1. Now here x3 minus x2 is h, and adding and subtracting x2, f2 minus f1 upon h plus f3 minus 2f2 plus f1 upon 2h square dot h plus h. Here we have substituted x3 minus x2 as h and x2 minus x1 as h. Taking LCM, we will get the value of df by dx at x cube as f1 minus 4f2 plus 3f cube upon 2h. Putting the values of f1, f2 and f3 and h, we will get the value of df by dx as 0.9550. Now d2f by dx square at x is equal to 0.25 is f3 minus f2 minus f2 minus f1 upon h square. Putting the values of f3, f2, f1 and h in the equation, we will get the value of d2f upon dx square at x equal to 0.25 as minus 1. Now coming to our last question, that is question number 4. We have given the following set of equation using Gauss-Seidel and Gauss-Jordan Gauss-Jordan method. First we will solve these equations by Gauss-Seidel. If we want to decrease the difference between successive iterations, the following condition must be satisfied. The condition is mod of non-diagonal elements of matrix upon diagonal elements must be less than 1. Taking the mod and finding the value of this condition, we get 64, which is greater than 1. Therefore, we must interchange the rows using row operations, and these row operations are row 1 interchange with row 3 and row 2 interchange with row 3. Now we get the equations as 4x1 plus x2 minus 2x3 equal to 0, the equation number 1. The equation number 2 is 2x1 plus 4x2 plus 2x3 equal to 15, and the equation number 3 is 2x1 plus x2 plus 2x3 equal to minus 1. Now again calculating this condition, we will get 0.5 as the value which is less than 1. Therefore we will go with these set of equations. For first iteration, put x2 equal to 0 and x3 equal to 0 in 1, we get x1 equal to 0. Put x1 equal to 0 and x3 equal to 0 in 2, we get x2 equal to 15 by 4, that is 3.75. Put x1 equal to 0 and x2 equal to 3.75 in equation number 3, we get x3 equal to minus 4.375. Now we come to the second iteration. Put x2 equal to 3.75 and x3 equal to minus 4.375 in 1, we get x1 equal to 1.25. Putting x1 equal to 1.25 and x3 equal to minus 4.375 in 2, we get x2 equal to 5.3125. and putting x1 equal to 1.25 and x2 equal to 5.3125 in 3, we get x3 equal to minus 6.4. Now similar procedure will be followed for next iteration until we get the same values for x1, x2 and x3 in the iterations. Here is the iteration table. In which we have calculated the values of x1, x2 and x3 in 13 iterations. We can observe that the value of x1 is getting repeated after 12th iteration. The value of x2 and x3 is also getting repeated after 12th iteration. Therefore, these are the final values of our variables x1, x2 and x3. The value for x1 is coming out to be minus 3.055. The value of x2 is equals to 6.666 and value of x3 is minus 2.778. Now solving the same set of equations with Gauss-Jordan method. In this method we have to diagonalize the matrix first. Now coefficient matrix from the given set of equations will be this. As you can see, to diagonalize the above matrix, the step 1 is multiply the matrix with 1 by 2, we get this matrix. Step 2, substitute row 3 by row 3 minus row 2, we get this matrix. Step 3 is row 2 minus substitute row 2 by row 2 minus row 1, we get this matrix. Step 4 is substituting row 2 by minus 4 by 3 row 2. Now step 5 is substituting row 1 by row 1 minus row 2 and we get the following matrix. Step 6 is substituting row 3 by row 3 minus row 1, we get the following matrix. Step 7 is substituting row 3 by minus 1 by 3 times of row 3. Step 8 is substituting row 1 by row 1 minus row 3. Step 9, which is our final step, in which we substitute row 2 by 1 by 2 times of row 2 and we get the diagonal matrix, which is also an identity matrix, so that it would be easy for us to calculate the values for x1, x2 and x3. Hence finally we get the values. The value of x1 is minus 55 by 18, the value of x2 is 20 by 3 and the value of x3 is minus 25 by 9, which is exactly the same as the values we have obtained in the Gauss-Seidel method. So these were our questions. Thank you.